Even after countless trips to Disney World, I am still learning every single day. So here are a bunch of lessons that I learned the hard way in Disney World. Try to avoid these, you guys. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Today we are going to talk about some hard knocks, school of hard knocks, things that I learned the hard way about Disney World. Now, I don't want you to have to deal with any of this stuff, so I'm going to talk to you about it straight up, real talk. These are things I messed up, and I want you to make sure you don't mess them up too. First thing is, don't stay in a room at the very end of a hallway. So unless you really like walking and value quiet above convenience, some of those Disney resort hallways are really long and take sometimes up to 10 to 15 minutes to get to your room at the end of the night. So if that is not for you, you're going to want to request to stay in a room closer to the lobby. So you're already probably paying for a deluxe room and amenities, so whenever possible, request the room closer to the lobby or transportation or wherever you want to be. And your feet at the end of a long park day will thank you. So your first option is to book a preferred room if your hotel offers that category. These will be closer to transportation and restaurants. Or you can make room requests via online check-in. You'll get to choose two options here, so be sure to check out what rooms are available at your resort and decide what is most important for you. For instance, at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they typically have a trail or hallway option, so if you've booked a standard room and want a view of the animals, requesting the zebra trail is going to be your best bet. But keep in mind, you may end up all the way at the end of the hallway, so put that as your second tier request if you'd rather be closer to the lobby. Now, you can also contact your hotel directly about 5 days before your arrival to add a location preference to your reservation. Now, this is usually when the room assigner is blocking out rooms. So if all else fails and you check in and get a room location you don't like, remember you can always ask if there's anything else available or if you may be able to move rooms the next night, and they may be able to help you out. But personally, I got put in the Pumbaa section of Kidani Village over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it was a hassle every single time to get all the way over there I was almost the last room in the Pumbaa section. It is very far away from the lobby, so just be aware. Now, along those same lines, and something else that I learned on that same trip where I was in the Pumbaa section at the very end, is that minivans can go lots of places you wouldn't expect. So minivans are Disney's ride-sharing service, and they run through the Lyft app, the LYFT app. And so this is a way that you can pay a little bit extra to get a private ride wherever you need to go. Now, there are a few times that minivans can come in really handy, but other times they are definitely a splurge and an upgrade. That's something that may not fit into your budget, so you'll have to figure out what times it makes sense to use a minivan. One time that I found out from a recent trip that it may make sense to use a minivan is when you're headed to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review or Trails End or one of those locations that is in Fort Wilderness. So if you go and you park your car in the Fort Wilderness parking lot, you're going to have to take a couple of buses to actually get yourself over to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. Now, of course, you can take a boat from the Magic Kingdom or from the Contemporary or Wilderness Lodge over to Fort Wilderness and end up pretty close to the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review venue. But if you are coming from bus service or driving your own car, a minivan may make more sense because minivans can actually drive you directly to the venue, and that way you don't have to take two internal buses from the parking lot. Another thing minivans can do is get you a little closer to your room than you might expect. When I was staying in that Pumbaa room, I took a minivan once, and the driver actually said to me, well, I can drive you all the way through the parking garage to that Pumbaa area, to that elevator that's right next to your room. That was a revelation to me because I thought that minivans could only pick you up and drop you off from the lobby of your hotel, but that's not true. There's actually a few places they can pick you up or drop you off that are closer to your room, so be sure to call your minivan driver and ask them if they can pick you up a little bit closer or drop you off a little bit closer to your room. Also, minivans can now go to new places in Disney Springs. They used to only be able to go to two locations, way over in the marketplace or way over in the west side. Now they can also pick up and drop off from the valet points at the Orange and Lime garages. So there's 4 points now where you can pick up and drop off in a minivan versus just the two. So that makes your Disney Springs minivan experience a lot more convenient than it has been in the past. Next lesson that we learned the hard way, don't wait until the last minute to buy your souvenirs. Now, we get it, you're making sure there isn't something else you wanted more, or you want to make sure there's enough room in your suitcase on the way home, but a word of caution on waiting until the last minute to buy that must-have souvenir. You may not be able to find it again. There's a lot of items that are only available in 1 or 2 locations around Disney World, items that might sell out, or items that are exclusive to a particular event or party or hard ticket event. So our advice, if you really have to have it, you should get it when you see it. Now, if you change your mind, Disney has a great return policy. You can actually return Disney Parks items to any cash register on property, basically. Any Disney-run merchandise location, you'll be able to return your things to that merchandise location. So there's a great return policy and a lot of places to return things. Now, also remember that you can shop and purchase merchandise right in the My Disney Experience app through Shop Disney. You'll actually be able to see where the items are in stock around the park as well. But a lot of items aren't available in the app, so while you can buy some more popular things from your phone on the way to the airport, if you did wait too long, you're probably not going to be able to pick up resort-specific or limited edition items that way. Now, if the problem is that you don't want to carry something around the park all day, you don't have to worry about that. Remember, your purchases can be sent directly to the front of the park where you can pick them up when you're done in the park that day, or if you're staying at a Disney World hotel, you can have the package delivery service send your package directly to your hotel. But keep in mind that this does take some time. It'll take a couple of days to get there, so you have to actually be staying at that resort at least 2 more nights in order to get it. So that's one example of our next lesson we learned the hard way. Some conveniences can be actually inconvenient. So if package delivery is an awesome convenience, just make sure you have the time for it and you're going to be there for those extra 2 days. Packages being sent to the front of the park could take 4 hours or more to make their way to the pickup location. Not great if you're park hopping right after your next ride and not planning to come back to the park you were shopping in. A lot of people aren't in a park for another 4 hours. And it also takes at least 2 days for those packages to reach your hotel. So you can really only take advantage of these perks if you've got that extra time cushion. Another delivery that can take quite a bit of time, luggage delivery. So if you're taking the Magical Express and you've attached those yellow tags to your luggage, you can head straight from the plane right to the bus and right to your hotel and the parks. However, make sure you have everything you need for the rest of your day in your carry-on bags, because you might not be seeing that luggage until much later in the day. It can take 3 hours or more for your luggage to arrive at your resort room. Sometimes it's there the same time as you, but sometimes it takes longer than 3 hours. So be prepared for both scenarios. Personally, I'll often grab my own luggage and just take it to the Magical Express myself. The driver loads and unloads it for you, and then you've got it with you. This is especially convenient if you're like me and you're kind of picky about your Disney room, and if something isn't exactly the way you like it, you ask to switch rooms. Then you've got your luggage with you already. You don't have to worry about working with Magical Express to make sure they get your luggage to the right room. And remember, if you're arriving at MCO before 5 a.m. or after 10 p.m., you're going to have to grab your own luggage anyway. Next lesson we've learned the hard way, your favorite ride may be down for refurb while you're in Disney World. Now, there's nothing worse than counting down the days until your kiddo can finally ride Splash Mountain, arriving at Magic Kingdom and realizing that Splash is down for refurbishment until March. You can plan ahead for this though. Disney posts their scheduled refurbishments on their website and on My Disney Experience, so it's easy to find out what won't be running when you're there. Now, if it's something that's a serious must-do, it may make sense to change your plans accordingly and travel at a different time. You do you guys. We all know what's important to us. So if a ride or attraction is down for mechanical or other emergency or last minute reasons during your visit, chances are good it'll come back up again that day or the following day. Ask the cast members about the potential and the possibilities. And if your kiddo is going to miss out on his first ride because you're leaving tomorrow, see if guest services can help out with a next time fast pass so that on his next visit, he'll be able to skip the line and ride with a fast pass. Next Disney lesson we learned the hard way, arriving for rope drop doesn't always mean short lines. Now here at DFB Guide, we're always telling you arriving early and staying late mean you'll be hitting the lines when they're at their shortest. Sometimes during the year, just because the line for Slinky Dog Dash might be the shortest at 9 a.m., it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be short, per se. Pretty much everyone at rope drop will be heading to the same attractions first, meaning those lines are going to get long fast, like 5 to 45 minutes long in a matter of minutes. And it's not unheard of to see the popular attraction lines jump to 90 plus minutes very shortly after the park opens. Now, all of that still beats hitting those rides midday when lines are at their longest, but if you want super short wait times, take advantage of extra magic hours and show up prior to those opening times. Or book an early morning magic or after hours events. These events can be pricey, but they're about the price of a single-day park ticket for 3 hours of exclusive ride access, and you'll be able to ride as much as you want during those 3 hours, usually more than you'd be able to ride in an entire day. And another tip for those long lines, if you guys have specific fast passes but you want to change them or have different fast passes, don't forget that those fast passes can be modified and changed. I have spent many minutes refreshing fast passes to try to get the specific time I want, and a lot of times it does actually come up even on that exact day. So you can always modify your fast passes. Next Disney lesson we've learned the hard way: buses stop running. That's right, Disney transportation does not run 24 hours. So maybe you decided to stop by Trader Sam's or your favorite resort lounge for drinks or a snack after the parks close, and you end up spending a bit of time there. So when you're ready to go, you head out front to catch a bus or monorail, only to realize they've almost entirely stopped running and your car is still parked at Hollywood Studios. You can always ask a cast member or bus driver the best way to get to a parking lot if you did park your car and hop somewhere else. Although leaving your car overnight shouldn't be a problem, just make sure you don't keep it parked there for your whole vacation. Buses to Disney Springs run until about 2 a.m., so you can always head there and transfer to a bus to your own hotel, but keep in mind they do start to run a lot less frequently as the night goes on. Alternatively, if you're trying to hit an early dining reservation, know that Disney does typically have transportation running that early, although it may be a bit sporadic, so you want to give yourself plenty of time. For all these instances, besides maybe getting into a parking lot after the park is closed, remember you can call a minivan or other rideshare service or taxi to get you where you need to go, but minivans do stop running at 12:30 a.m. Next Disney World lesson we learned the hard way: all snacks are not created equal. So there is no shortage of sweet snacks all around Disney World, and you're going to run into a lot of prepackaged treats like Rice Krispie treats, flavored popcorn, cookies, chocolates, and more. Skip them. I know it sounds weird, but if you want the best snacks and treats, you're not going to want the prepackaged stuff. Now, if you love it, that's fine. You do your thing, but you're going to find much better stuff that's not prepackaged. So head to the confectionery counters instead for treats that are way fresher and tastier. So even if they have a long line, it'll move fast, and we promise crispy treats coming from the case are going to be better than the ones that are wrapped and on the shelf. So if you're looking for popcorn, you're going to find awesome flavors at the very recently relocated gourmet popcorn cart. Well, now it's not a cart, but you can get the sour cream and chive, buffalo, and cheddar popcorn at the brand new Epcot experience in the Odyssey Events Pavilion. And you're also going to find the best caramel corn you'll ever have in the Werther's store in the Germany Pavilion over there at Caramel Kucha. And if you're into weird, interesting flavor combos, you can always try the Katsaka's Kettle and Galaxy's Edge popcorn. It's a mix of sweet and savory, and the sweet is kind of like Fruit Loops, or maybe it's supposed to be like blueberry pound cake. Like, all right, Disney, that doesn't exist on Batu. And the savory is a chili popcorn. So, that's something you can try, but we would stick with the popcorn cart in Epcot and Caramel Kucha for sure. Now, if you want to step up that treat game even more, head to Goofy's Candy Company in Disney Springs, where you can actually make your very own Rice Krispie treat or candy apple. You can customize them exactly how you want them to be, so that's really cool as well. All right, final Disney World lesson we learned the hard way: roadwork and closures aren't advertised in Disney World. So if you've been paying attention to Disney news lately, you know there's a ton of construction going on, which can mean closed roads and detours. So if you're driving yourself around Disney World, or even if you're taking a rideshare or taxi, be ready to get rerouted or to be totally confused by your GPS directions taking you to a hotel entrance that no longer exists. There will usually be signs when you get up to something that's closed, but these construction zones probably won't show up in your GPS yet, so we suggest using Waze for more up-to-date routes. This is also something to keep in mind if you'll be visiting Disney World during any of the Run Disney events. The Wine and Dine Half Marathon is coming up pretty soon, and then the big Disney World Marathon takes place the weekend of January 10th, and you can expect road closures any day there is a race, and lots of traffic, lots and lots of bumper-to-bumper traffic. Typically, the races are finished earlier in the morning since they start at 5 a.m., but if you're trying to hit rope drop, you'll want to check the route maps before you head out in the morning. So there are a bunch of Disney World lessons we learned the hard way we wanted to share with you. And we love doing videos like this because these are things that we're running into all the time when we're down there on our visits, and our DFB reporters who are in the parks every single day, they are experiencing these things. And we always want to give you guys the most up-to-date tips and information about how to have the best Disney World trip possible. So thank you guys for listening, and thanks for watching. Please let us know your tips and experiences in the comments. It really helps the rest of our viewers to see what you've learned the hard way on your Disney trips. This is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.